So hello everyone, and welcome back to Sakura Unboxing. So in this video I've got a binding figure that I have been eagerly waiting for. It could be one of my new favorites in my collection in terms of bunny girls and binding figures, so I'm just very excited. So let me go ahead and show what figure I'll be reviewing today. So here is the box right here, very gorgeous. I love the design of it. So this is the Creators Collection Sarah 1/4 Red Queen version by Binding. I'm very excited to open her. So yeah, the box is absolutely gorgeous. I really love the design. Of course, this is based off an illustration by DSmile, whose art style I really like. A lot of figures have been made based off illustrations by them. So yeah, I also have another figure that's illustrated by DSmile that I'm just excited to put these two next to each other. They're gonna look very stunning together, so yeah. So before we get into unboxing this beautiful figure, let us go into the general information about her. So going into some general information about this figure, so this figure is of course manufactured by Binding, and originally she was supposed to have a December 2024 release date, but ended up getting pushed into January of 2025. Then we're going on to the dimensions of this figure. So she is a 1/4 scale figure measuring roughly 13.65 inches in height. So going into where I bought this figure from, so I did buy her off of the native website, and on there she was 38,500 yen. The shipping, they have a flat rate shipping cost of 8,900 yen for a grand total of 47,400 yen, which in USD, thankfully, my credit card tells me how much it cost in USD is $305.04. So yeah, quite the pricey bunny figure. And thankfully someone left a My Figure Collection user comment for the shipping costs from Ami for this figure. So EMS is 10,300 yen, air parcel is 9,200 yen, and surface parcel is 4,000 yen. So I am a little bit shocked in terms of the shipping cost between Ami and the native website. And I'm mostly talking about the quickest shipping cost, so EMS versus native's flat rate shipping. Again, this could depend from specifically 1/4 scale figures, if they're standing versus kneeling or sitting. That could, fluctuate the shipping cost a little bit. There might be a difference, of course, between delivery time. It might be a little bit faster on native. I'm not too sure. So that's just something to think about if you do order on native versus Ami. So before going into the unboxing, of course I did actually get her straight from the native website. So I got her bonus postcard, which looks absolutely gorgeous. This one is safe for work, thankfully, so I can show it on camera. I don't know why they kind of go back and forth between not safe for work and safe for work with the postcards. I'm more of a safe for work person, that's just me. But of course the artworks on all of them are gorgeous, so I can't complain too much about getting a bonus little illustration of the figure. So yeah, I'm very excited, so let us just jump right into getting her out of the box. So yes, unfortunately I have to turn the figure around because she is exposed in the front, so I can't really turn her around right away. So yeah, of course with these figures I do have to be careful with showing them on camera. So yeah, instructions though, they look pretty straightforward, although I am not looking forward to one part for reasons I'll get into. Hopefully it's not as painful as I've had with some figures in the past, so I'll just put the instructions right there. And yeah, so first also, figure comes with this fluffy base, which I think I like a little bit more than the rounder base. You can at least kind of like overlap figures on top of it, which is nice. I do have some on my shelf. I don't know if I'll use this one though, so it might just stay in the box for the time being. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll carefully take her out of the box. I might have to show her behind. So yeah, let's just see how this whole process goes with unboxing the figure. So yeah, probably not the best angle in the world, but thankfully she has like a black bag covering her. So yeah, before I take the figure out, let's just get into the accessories. So now we're going into the accessories first before I get into the figure. First we have her outfit right here. I do kind of like this like matte-ish metallic finish. It's not like super metallic, which I quite like. Sculpting is very well done. The tail is actually like soft, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, compared to them just sculpting it. And yeah, so it is supposed to kind of come apart in some areas, which I'm a little bit nervous about. We'll see how that goes a little bit later. And then next we have her little scepter right here. Very nice paintwork on it. I do of course like how, you know, it's a little translucent heart right there. And then after that we have her scepter. Very nicely painted. I really like, of course, the little transparent heart and gem on here. It's a very nice little extra accessory for the figure. And then, of course, lastly, the bunny ears. You can't forget about those. So here she is out of the box, and of course I'm facing her the other direction. But she looks already amazing. Like the face, the hair, you can definitely see like the gradient, how it looks absolutely stunning. So yes, let us jump into the first step, which is surprisingly it says to put on the bunny ears first, so I'll listen to the instructions and put those on first. Okay, definitely very easy step so far. After that, it's gonna be putting on the bunny suit, which I'm gonna have to, of course, be careful with when showing on camera. Hopefully it's pretty easy though. I've had some issues with putting these on in the past because I had to really like stretch the material and really use a lot of force to make sure everything connects because sometimes it can pop off. So hopefully this one doesn't give me too much issue. We'll have to see. So I'm gonna have to carefully remove this bag around her waist. So thankfully, the hair kind of covers, you know, your guys' view, so, you know, that's at least good. So now we're moving on to the next step. Thankfully, the hair kind of blocks a bunch of stuff. So, yeah, we have, again, the outfit. So I already opened it up. It comes apart like this. I do maybe wish that they maybe use metal rods instead of plastic. These do feel sturdy. But again, I've had some experiences in the past where if you pull it out at the wrong angle, you could possibly break one of these pegs off. So yeah, it's just kind of supposed to slide right under like this. Again, I can't show too much from this angle, but yeah, just kind of have to... Yeah, that's okay. I'm looking at this right. So yeah, now she has the bunny suit on, so I can show you her facing forward. So putting it on was actually pretty easy. I'm very surprised. I guess that's why they made the bunny tail soft, because it kind of hits up against the cape that she has. So when putting this on, you do want to kind of do the back first and then the front second. Yeah, but it was easy. Thankfully the bunny suit is not too like small, so I can like easily put it on. It's a pretty snug fit, I'd say, on her, which is good. And then pretty much just the last step is of course, her little scepter right here, which should be hopefully, you know, pretty easy and hopefully stays on. It does show you in the instructions, of course, how it's supposed to kind of line up with her hands. So let's see how this is gonna go. Alright, and now we have her with scepter in hand. Now, I think I definitely like didn't do this right. It is supposed to kind of rest a little bit higher up. Like the little black part is not supposed to be like touching her glove, I think. At least in the instructions, that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna have to look at some My Figure user collection photos. Because I felt like it was supposed to kind of get tucked in between her pinky and ring finger, but that is not the case. It just kind of rests in that area. So yeah, and I guess besides like the putting her on the fluffy base, that's honestly about it. So yeah, the one thing though I will nitpick about this figure that I noticed when I was doing some up-close b-roll for the assembly is that her feet actually don't touch like the ground. So like on my table, her feet are still sticking up. I think it's the hair that's kind of just propping her up a little bit. But if you're kind of nitpicky about that, that's just something. Maybe it's just my copy of this figure has this issue. I'm sure if you have her on the fluffy base, it kind of breaks that illusion that her feet are a little bit above the surface of like a table. So yeah, that's a little bit of an oversight, I guess. But other than that, stunning. Other than that, I really can't complain too much. I think she's amazing. As I'm like looking at the figure, I didn't notice any sort of defects or anything, which is good. And painless assembly, which I'm always so appreciative of. So next, let us go into the figure overview section. So first going into the, of course, native bonus, which is the postcard with the original illustration of the figure on there. So absolutely stunning. Again, DSmile has such amazing artwork, so happy to add this to my collection of postcards that I have for this series. So now we're going into the B-roll of the box. Now it is the same in terms of design as the Chris Aqua Blue box. Obviously just the color palette is different, but I really just love this red. I love the way the roses are designed. It all just looks so pretty. Yeah, I really love the box. Also pretty decent size. It's not as big again as I thought it was gonna be, which is always a plus. So yeah, very cool little outlines on some of these and very nice little background as well. You can kind of see it against the white. But yeah, I'd say it's a pretty nice box overall, and of course very good quality. Now going on to the assembly portion, so I did have to censor the instructions a little bit, but thankfully the process for it is pretty straightforward. Now we're going to be going into the assembly for this figure, so I'm showing off the fluffy white base right here, which I won't be using. So then we're gonna just jump right into the ears right here, not showing what the figure looks like at the beginning because obviously she's naked out of the box. So yeah, the ears right here have some very nice sculpt work and very nice little pink in the inside, and it has some nice shading as well. So with any standard bunny figure, you of course take off the holder pegs. I did mix up the bunny ears a little bit, forgive me for that. So yeah, those just easily go into the head, no problem. After that we have the bunny suit itself. Again, gorgeous design, very nice metallic paint finish, and I really like the fluffy tail as well. And yeah, the pegs opens up on the side. Thankfully the pegs are pretty sturdy even though they're plastic, so that's good. And I'm gonna really be zooming in this part because I did want to show this on camera, but I had to censor her. So yeah, you do the back first, you slip it in there, and then you do the front, and it should easily clasp in like that. So also very easy and surprisingly painless step. Then lastly we have her scepter. Again, very cool design. I do like how they used a, you know, semi-transparent material for the gem, which is cool. And yeah, I just like how some 1/4 scale figures come with props like that. It adds just a little bit of coolness factor to it. and it easily goes into her hand right there. It does slide down quite a bit, so there's that, but I also did show me shaking the figure just to show that, you know, it's pretty well in there, but if you really forcefully take her off the shelf, it will definitely fly out. But yeah, that's the very easy assembly process. And after that very easy assembly, we're finally jumping into some B-roll of the figure herself, and needless to say, I am very happy with the way that she came out. I'm so happy that this illustration of this character was made into a figure, and to just finally have her in my hands. I'm just happy to add her with my other bunny figures. And yeah, just a stunning character design once again by DSmile. They do just such amazing work, and it's nice to see so many of their illustrations be made into figures. I absolutely love the sculpt work on this figure, the body sculpt, the hair sculpt, as well as her outfit. Again, I really just love this metallic red for her outfit. The little cape that she has is also very cute as well. And then of course she has her gold crown as well as the scepter. The fishnets are those sort of like wider looking fishnets. I guess that's the way I can describe them. They're not my favorite design, but I feel like she rocks them pretty well. The hair is probably one of my favorite parts of the figure. Again, I love the way her ponytail just drapes onto the floor, and that gradient is just very fantastically done. It's not too rough with the transition. And yeah, needless to say, I have like no words. This figure is fantastic. If you love anything by DSmile, this is a must-have for your collection. Binding did a fantastic job with this figure. So yeah, showing off so many sections of the figure because I just want to go into so much detail and just to gush about the details in general. Oh yeah, also on her hair on the side, I like how they sculpted in this kind of braid as well. Yeah, just the hair, the strands, the way everything is sculpted is amazing. I like how she has this kind of one white glove, and then she doesn't have one on the other hand. It's a little asymmetrical. And I'm kind of showing the body sculpt up here, obviously trying to not show too much, but there it is. The tummy sculpt is also very well done. And yeah, so trying to show some more b-roll of the hair. Like, it's a little bit overexposed right there, but yeah, just very pretty. Some little issues though I have with the figure. I did come across some little chips, maybe this slight little bleeding right here. Not too noticeable, and I could cover these up pretty easily with some metallic paint. This little scrape is probably from when I accidentally kind of dropped the bunny suit off camera, so that was kind of my fault. Also, the big nitpick is that, yeah, her feet do not touch the ground. Unfortunately, I think the hair is just propping her up, which is a shame. If you do use the fluffy white base, it should break that illusion that her feet are off the ground. Now, the last one I want to show off is that her bunny suit kind of cracked a little bit. You can kind of see it in the light, hopefully. But it's because I bent it way too much, so just be careful about that. That is a shame that that happened, and it's kind of noticeable for this metallic suit. But other than that, really nothing else I have to nitpick. This is just overall a very gorgeous binding figure. Now we're going to go into some size comparisons. So we have the Sarah 1/4 scale figure next to the little Nendoroid of Eep by Good Smile Company. After that, a non-scale figure, which is the Toho Project Cerno Summer Frost version by Solar Rain. After that, we have some smaller 1/8 scale figures. These are the Sarah and Chris figures, manufactured by Binding. Next, we have a much bigger 1/8 scale figure, which is the Toho Project Ramelia Scarlet figure by Alter. Then after her, we have a 1/7 scale figure, which is the Blue Archive Kosaka Wakamo scale by Neon Max. Then going on to a 1/6 scale figure, which is the Mauve figure by Rocket Boy. Then a 1/5 scale figure, which is the Resetsuhime Saki figure by Inbina. Then we have a standing 1/4 scale figure, which is the X10 B-Style by Freeing. Then I had to go ahead and display her with the Chris Aqua Blue figure. They look absolutely stunning side by side, so pretty next to each other. I'm glad to have these two together in my collection. So now going into my overall thoughts of the figure, and I think she just turned out amazing. I'm just super happy to finally have this figure in my collection. After waiting a very long time, and then of course the delay that happened, but she was absolutely worth the wait for me at least. I think she really translated well from the original illustration into figure form. Again, I just love the pose. I really love the outfit design for her with the metallic outfit. The cape is a very nice touch. The scepter is of course a very nice prop for the figure. And yeah, just the sculpting as well, the body sculpt, the outfit sculpt, as well as the hair. Again, the way that it just drapes down and pulls at the floor is very cool. I just really love it. In terms of paintwork, I think she is fantastic. There's some nice shading in some areas, and again, they did an excellent job with that opaque to translucent gradient for her hair. And again, the eyes look very nice. They definitely translated the way that DSmile, like colors and just their eye designs in general, into the figure very well. Also, of course, the assembly really surprised me. It was very easy to get everything together. I feel like everything connects well, like again, the bunny suit, which is always the most important thing for a figure. And yeah, it was just very painless assembly. Thank God for once I review a figure that the assembly process was pretty straightforward and easy to handle. And now we're gonna go into some slight nitpicks and things I just want to point out as a heads up if you do want to purchase this figure. First one, I did see this on My Figure Collection in the comments, and that is her skin tone is just really pale. Like there really isn't any shading or blushing for her skin tone, which again, a little bit of a shame. I feel like everything else looks great in terms of paintwork and shading, but just the skin tone is relatively flat. After that, some things I did run into. The scepter that she has, you just kind of put in her hands, and again, she does hold it quite well. But if you do really just pull her off the shelf too quick, it will fall out and you could possibly break something, so that's just something to be careful about. So the next nitpick I have is that her legs and feet, they don't touch the ground all the way. There is a little bit of a gap. Again, it's probably because of her hair just kind of propping her up a little bit. So if you don't want to display her with the fluffy white base, you might come across that with your copy of this figure. Again, it could just be my copy. And again, she's gonna be placed in a spot where I can't see it, but if you're really nitpicky about that, then that's just something to be warned about. Again, I feel like if you have her on the fluffy white base, it kind of breaks that illusion that her feet are kind of off the ground a little bit. And then the last thing I want to point out, of course, is the bunny suit itself. Just be sure when you're putting it on the figure, make sure you don't like open it up like super wide, just because I did come across that cracking. I again have never really seen this on any other bunny suit, and I just wonder if it's because she has this sort of metallic finish that it's way more noticeable. Again, the cracking isn't noticeable at a distance. It only really is noticeable as you look up close and you can shine in the light and you can kind of see that little bit of texture change, so I just be careful with that. Because if you probably do that a little bit excessively, you could crack the paint off and it'll actually chip off, so just be careful about that. That was a little bit of a shame to come across, but at least I now know for next time when I have to disassemble and reassemble the figure in the future. So now I'm going into aftermarket prices for the figure, which I couldn't really find a lot of info about, or I didn't really see any ads for the figure and if she went up or down in price. So unfortunately, places like Mandarake and like Solaris Japan, for example, they didn't have any listings for the figure. And unfortunately, when it comes to Bai, you can't really search 18 plus figures on there, or it's just really difficult to. So unfortunately I couldn't find anything on the figure on there. So pretty much the only two places that currently have the figure in stock is Nin Game, and on there she is listed for 45,890 yen. That's without the shipping, so you could probably look elsewhere for the figure, because of course that is base price without the shipping on top of that. And she is also still up on AmiAmi in stock for 38,500 yen, so her retail price. So if you want to just chuck the figure on surface, you're looking to pay, pretty much under $300 for the figure, which, is not that bad, but maybe eventually when she goes on pre-owned that you can find her for much cheaper. Be warned though that if you do want to buy her off of Ninden Game or AmiAmi, you're probably going to have to use a credit card, so that's just a heads up if you decide to order the figure off of those two websites. So in conclusion, despite the several little nitpicks and things to watch out for with this figure, I think she is an amazing binding bunny. Again, I was very much anticipating her original illustration being made into a figure, and I feel like binding delivered on this figure. I'm excited to put her next to some of my other bunnies, and of course next to the Chris Aqua Blue figure, also of course illustrated by DSmile. So I do hope that this review of this figure helped on your decision on whether or not you want to pick up this beautiful binding bunny in the future. So here she is in all of her glory, and needless to say, I am so happy with how she turned out. I am so happy to have her in my collection. Sculpt work fantastic, paint job and different finishes amazing, and it's just a very gorgeous design that I'm very happy got made into a binding bunny. Besides my little nitpicks in some areas, that doesn't overshadow how much I just really love the way the figure looks. So yeah, I'm very happy to add her to my bunny collection, and I'm also very happy to have her next to the Chris Aqua Blue figure. So pretty much like this has to be like the fastest I've ever like recorded a video for a single figure unboxing. I'd say it took me a little bit over an hour to do like everything, from intro to figure reveal to unboxing the figure to doing close-ups of the assembly process at the same time, and then this outro. I'm very shocked with how quick it was, and I did also do some like b-roll of the figure, some size comparisons, the b-roll of the box, and a lot of stuff. So I managed to get a lot done in one day with just recording this figure, which I'm quite happy about, so I don't have to worry about that later down the line. So that's just gonna conclude this video. I'm very happy with how the figure turned out. Let me know what your favorite bunny figure is in your collection, whether it be a binding bunny, a freeing bunny, or just any figure that's meant to be a bunny, whether it be a bunny girl or the rare occasion where there's a bunny boy. So yeah. So thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are, and take it easy. Goodbye.